I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about the importance of dad. Well, you might be thinking, what does the importance of dad have to do with anything?
With a breakup. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, and that doesn't have to do with me. Well, chances are it probably has a lot to do with you. Because we all have dads, or at least they're supposed to, in some form.
Right.
And so many of us grow up without a dad, or a stepdad, or maybe an uninvolved dad or stepdad.
Right.
And it leaves a big impact on us. And, you know, Margaret, that absence on us has a huge impact on us.
Huge impact, bigger than we know.
And when I was working with Margaret, I don't even remember, maybe 20 years ago, when we worked together at an agency, Margaret would talk with me about some of my clients that dad wasn't in the picture and help me really understand, find out about dad.
Right.
Where is this kid's dad?
Right.
Why are they not in the picture?
Yep.
This kid is impacted by dad even though he may not be in the picture.
And what should be told is, well, dad's never been in the picture, and a lot of people would just settle for that.
Yep.
But there's no child on earth who doesn't want both parents. And then you'd hear the argument of, well, you can't miss what you've never had. Oh, yes, you can. The other kids in the neighborhood have dads. If you watch TV, you can figure out in 5 minutes you're supposed to have two parents. So, yes, you certainly can miss what you never had. And kids do, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you for remembering that.
I do remember.
Did I say I took some of this article that I'm going to share with you now from an Ashley Contino person who works at a California agency called Counseling Today.
Okay.
And the article was published in September of 2017. Time after time, when I talk with people in the midst of a breakup, when I ask a little bit about their family, I hear that dad wasn't around. He may be absent for any number of reasons, including he left the family, he was away on business all of the time, or when he was home, he didn't talk or interact with anyone very much.
Wow. You know, one of the things that I see all the time is dads just, once they leave the mom, they just kind of go off and do their own thing, and it's kind of crazy to me.
It really is. I often hear, I think my dad was avoidant. Okay? Sometimes I hear, my parents have been together for 30 years, but have never appeared to be happy.
Jeez.
That pains me. This is very confusing and sad for people. Sometimes I hear, my child didn't miss having a dad because he's never had one. And I go on to say, if you watch TV for 5 minutes, you find out you're supposed to have one.
Yeah.
Dads are more than breadwinners, although sometimes they are relegated to that. Okay? Or that's what they say for fatherless families, it's a financial issue. It's much more than that. Going back to the cave days, we have seen mother as nurturer and caretaker, and dad as the hunter, gatherer, and protector. I'm sure, however, that there were some cave dads who let little Bam Bam and Pebbles play with their clubs. Right?
Yeah.
Got a picture?
Exactly.
We all know Bam Bam and Pebbles, I think. Yeah.
You probably knew them personally.
I did, absolutely. Bowlby's original construction of attachment theory proposed that the role of the father was ambiguous. But he later realized that the father is extremely important as an attachment figure for both boys and girls. Okay? Bowlby had a son who wrote some stuff after him, which I had never known before I read this article.
I didn't know that either.
No. I was originally taught that the first role of the father is to create a triangle between mother and the baby so that they can appropriately separate as the child grows more independent.
Yeah.
Now, does that make sense, creating a triangle? In other words, bringing in a third person, which gives the mother another relationship so the baby has a little more room to begin to pull away and be independent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? According to Bowlby, there are two equally important attachment roles. He saw mother's role as delivering love and security and nurture.
Mm-hmm.
He saw father's role as teaching children to participate in exciting and challenging new behaviors and practices.
Interesting.
I thought so too. Yeah. And both are very, very necessary. And, of course, there are many single parents in this world, both men and women, who somehow find a way to do it all. But this is the ideal scenario. The ideal is for the child to develop secure attachment and secure exploration. Because we talk about the earliest part of this being the child is able to walk away from mother's knee and explore the room. And then if they get scared, they can come back and hug mother's knee again and get some more courage and go out and explore. But exploring is extremely important. Right?
You know, one of the things that came to my mind while you were saying that was thinking about my own childhood and how my stepfathers were, or stepfather at the time, would be more like encouraging me to do stuff like that, you know, more explorative or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing you have to consider is that if you don't trust the dad,
Right.
then you're not going to feel safe to
Doing
explore it with him.
Yeah.
Like, for me, one of the things that he did that was so traumatizing as a kid growing up is instead of trying to teach me to swim the right way, he would throw me in the deep end of the pool.
Oh, dear
I mean,
Lord. I hope nobody gave him a dad license.
No, they didn't.
Well, that, what a cruel way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that his intention somewhere was half decent, but
Mm-hmm.
but you teach a kid. You don't just say sink or swim.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you say, if you don't trust dad, it can be damaging.
And so it would be, you know what, I don't remember how small I was. I was pretty small. But, being outside of the pool area, I wouldn't even want to walk near him.
Nope.
Because
Nope.
I'd be like scared that he would throw me in the pool or be too rough with me because he was a big guy.
But Craig, even then I was thinking of you. There's a story, I don't remember it, that when I was a little kid at the beach with my parents, I watched some guy throw a little kid into the water and yelled at him. So I was right there for you early on.
You knew it.
Yeah. And I guess I was quite little and my parents couldn't believe it. I think I said something like, "You can't do that, that was mean."
Mm-hmm.
Probably the guy wanted to drown me. Yeah. All right. And like I say, there are single parents who who'd find a way to do it all. And there it can also be any number of other helpful people. The woman down the street, the guy down the street, uncle somebody, all of those can kind of fill in sometimes when everything isn't quite available from two parents. The ideal is for the child to develop secure attachment and secure exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Dads who don't live at home can still be available to their children, and we see it all the time. It's never easy, but families have visiting arrangements, and sometimes they can work. And I read several articles saying that it can work as well almost as having dad in the home.
Mm-hmm.
It's having dad involved that's the issue, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And dads, you also have to talk to your children,
Mm-hmm.
okay? My belief from experience is that as a society, we have told men to be big and tough and not to have emotions. If they do have emotions, for heaven's sake, they better not let anybody know. The author of this article says we have a long way to go before our society considers fathers to be just as important as mothers.
Mm-hmm.
But each step is a step closer. A successful future depends on children having secure relationships with their father.
Yeah.
This means fathers being able to see their children often and being regarded as more than just financial support.
Mm-hmm.
Fathers are attachment figures, as you can speak to right now,
Absolutely.
and need to challenge their children and are right there with their children to explore a scary world ahead of them. All right, so dads are going to help kids get comfortable with exploring it, taking risks of trying new stuff.
Yep.
Most men I have ever worked with around being available to their children have absolutely no idea that they are important.
Wow. That's kind of shocking.
Well, I was shocked when it happened to me, but when I did child welfare, there was oftentimes a distant or unavailable dad, and I would inevitably contact them. They couldn't get rid of me. And tell them that they were important, and they would literally say to me, I didn't know that. Okay? Mm-hmm. Society has said mothers take care of kids, and they'll be okay without me. Yes, they will be okay without you, but they'll be a whole lot better with you. Okay? Men have been taught by the world that they are emotionally incompetent, and so when they don't know what to do or do not have the words to express their feelings, they tend to withdraw. So I would be saying, come back. We need you here. Mm-hmm. They do not do this out of malice or out of not caring about their children, but because they don't know what to do. Most men I have worked with have been more than willing to do and learn what they needed to do to be available to the children. Okay? And many therapists, who, unfortunately still tend to be more women than men, don't want to risk talking to a possibly angry guy. So he raises his voice. It's okay. If you're there to be helpful to him, he's going to know it. Mm-hmm. All right? So remember that children always believe that it was something that they were not, that it was something about them if dad isn't there. That they were not smart enough, not cute enough, or something that the child did, cry too much or need too much attention, that made that parent go away. Children always blame themselves.
Margaret, I don't think it's just children.
No, it's not just children. Right?
I mean, I can't tell you how many adult women that I've talked to that seem like they don't feel good enough.
No. Oh, or men as well.
Yeah.
It must have been something I did. I wasn't loving enough. I didn't listen enough. If I hadn't said that this one day, this wouldn't have happened. Oh, yeah, we're well programmed to beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
But there are posters, and I couldn't go into all of it here, but there are posters and all kinds of things out there with statistics on them saying that most of the people who end up in juvenile hall, eventually in prison, et cetera, and it shows outrageous percentages of how many of them did not have a dad. Okay?
I can't even imagine. I would guess at least 90%.
Yeah. And when I worked in the prison, frequently they had children that they were worried about. They felt terrible that they couldn't support them. And I would always encourage them to write, to call, to do anything that they could to let the child know they care about them and they think about them. And again, they would be surprised. My wife thinks I'm a terrible person and should stay away. Okay, but your child still needs to know that you care.
Yep.
Okay?
It leaves a big impact on us.
It really does.
And it really has a huge impact on our ability to trust people.
Absolutely.
And get close to people in our romantic relationships.
Absolutely. The other thing is, as you think about your own lives, which we're always encouraging you to do, if dad wasn't there for you, it has an impact. Mm-hmm. All right? Whether you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
All right? Mom has to be there. There isn't much she can do. She has you physically. But it's unfortunate that we've given dads the message that they're not important.
Yep.
So that's what I have to say.
Yep. Okay. So hopefully you found this helpful and insightful, and you can reflect on your own life and relationship with your own dad, or maybe consider how your partner's relationship with their dad
Absolutely.
is impacting them.
All very important.
Yep. And of course, if you want to get our help, you can get it at my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret, of course, is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful, please sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.